Lately, we've covered a whole lot of Clone Wars era Commando missions, from the well-known adventures of Delta Squad to the more secretive operations on Kalura and Coruscant. In this video, we've got not one, but two Commando operations to talk about. The first is another mission of Delta Squad's, albeit one that's much less widely known, which took place during the early stages of the Battle of Mygeeto. The second is the Battle of Gaftikar, which we briefly mentioned in an earlier video, which involved the Commandos of Omega Squad. Strap in, because we're going to be doing a complete explanation of both missions.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
The first mission took place during the early stages of the Battle of Mygeeto, the longest conflict of the Clone Wars. Mygeeto was the intergalactic banking clan's most fortified stronghold world, and after the Republic took Munilist in 22 BBY, the separatist faction of the IGBC's leadership relocated to Mygeeto. Republic forces soon followed, and in 21 BBY, the Battle of Mygeeto began. The start of what would become a 2-year-long campaign. Separatist forces were heavily entrenched, committed to guarding Mygeeto's vaults, production facilities, and crystal reserves. Republic forces, which were led by the Galactic Marines, were in for a tough time breaking the siege. During the early stages of the battle, Delta Squad, the Republic's most effective clone commando team, was called in to assist the operations on Mygeeto. But they were soon distracted from their original mission by Wallon Val, the Mandalorian mercenary that had trained the Deltas and a number of other notable commando squads. Val had a special mission for Delta Squad, if a completely unauthorized one, and Delta Squad, out of loyalty to a man they looked up to as a father figure, agreed to lend him a hand. Being a banking clan world, Mygeeto was home to the savings and personal fortunes of many of the IGBC's most well-known clients, who paid for the extra protection the vaults on Mygeeto afforded their wealth. Among those who stored their wealth on Mygeeto were the Val family, whose millions of credits were stashed in the Dressian Kiolsh merchant bank. Wallon Val considered this money to be his rightful inheritance, and he enlisted the Deltas in helping him steal it from the vaults. To make it less obvious that he was responsible, and clearly for no other reason at all, Val also stole large sums of credits from a bunch of other storage boxes in the same complex, making off with 53 million credits in all. Delta Squad helped Val break into the bank and make off with the stolen cash, and when Val fell into a crevice and nearly died during their escape attempt, they summoned 2 of the Null Arcs to rescue him. When all was said and done, Val gave all the credits he had stolen from the other deposit boxes to Cal Scarada, letting him use the money in his quest to find a cure for the clones' accelerated aging. He kept the money he stole from his family for himself. Around the same time, Omega Squad was involved with a mission on Gaftikar. Gaftikar was one of many colonies on the Outer Hidean, a separatist world that had been settled millennia before the Clone Wars by human colonists. The human colonists had brought in a population of reptilian Marits, who were renowned for their skills as engineers, to build their cities, but when the work was completed, the humans had exiled the Marits into Gaftikar's forests and denied them basic rights. The humans were afraid that the Marits, who greatly outnumbered them, would rise up and take control of the planet, so they were sure to keep them brutally oppressed. The Marits, meanwhile, just wanted civil rights and proportional representation in the planetary government. Since the human colonists on Gaftikar had sided with the CIS, the Republic did something good for a change and decided to train a Marit militia to seize control of the planet. Of course, the Republic's motives weren't exactly selfless. Gaftikar was rich in Norax and Calirium, and the Republic-aligned Shenio Mining Corporation was looking to escape the regulations the government of Gaftikar had put on their extraction operations. The Republic, once again, was only interested in the locals' resources, but for once, it led them to choosing the right side. Initially, the Republic sent the ARC trooper Sul to handle operations on Gaftikar. he quickly helped the Narrators raise a militia through the process of cascade training, per which Sull would train a dozen Narrators, they would each go on to train a dozen more, and so on, until Sull's training had been disseminated to hundreds of thousands of fighters. In this manner, Sull quickly raised a well-trained and well-organized Narrator militia, which the Republic supplied with weapons and equipment. Everything was good to go, and then Sull disappeared. The Commandos of Omega Squad, together with the Null Arc Arden, were sent to take control of the operation in Sull's absence. They found the Narrator militia on standby, ready to strike whenever the orders came in from the Republic. And though Sull was nowhere to be found, the Commandos decided to proceed with the operation. Before they were due to carry out the attack, however, the Commandos did some recon in Gaftikar's capital, where they happened to run into Sull. The ARC Trooper, it turned out, had deserted. One of Sull's friends and a fellow ARC Trooper had deserted not long before, only to be murdered in cold blood by Republic Covert-Ops troopers. Omega Squad was initially skeptical of this story, doubting that the Republic would murder clones just for trying to leave the army. But they were able to confirm the story when 2 Covert-Ops troopers came to kill Sull and attacked Darman, a member of Omega Squad, by mistake. The assassins were eliminated, and the Commandos ultimately allowed Sull to go free, disturbed by what they had learned. This didn't dissuade them from participating in the Gaftikar campaign, however. Omega Squad contacted Command and let them know that the militia was ready, and the Republic dispatched the acclamated class assault ship Leveler, commanded by Captain Gilad Pelion and Jedi Master Mas Misor, to get the offensive started. The plan was that Master Misor would lead the clone troopers of the 35th Infantry and some of Pelion's starfighter squadrons in crushing the Gaftikari defense force, while the Narrators took care of the rest. The plan worked pretty much flawlessly. The CIS warned the Gaftikari that Republic forces were coming, but Master Misor and the 35th Infantry easily smashed enemy ground forces regardless. Pelion dispatched starfighter squadrons to knock out Gaftikari military infrastructure, and his forces coordinated with Arden and Omega Squad, who spent the battle running around the planet and picking out communications outposts for Republic forces to bomb. The Gaftikari army received no reinforcements from the Confederacy and had only poorly trained local soldiers, a selection of laser cannon emplacements, and some speeder bikes to resist with. The Grand Army of the Republic had an easy time steamrolling them. Once the Gaftikari army was toast, the Narrators moved in. They took the planetary capital, the city of Ayat, by storm, and once they had successfully occupied the city, they sent out detachments to neighboring cities, and so on until the planet was under their control. There was some resistance, but after Omega Squad was sent in to blow up Gaftikar's central holonet relay, the resistance fell apart, and the Narrators had taken control of Gaftikar. All mission objectives had been achieved with minimal casualties. The Gaftikari government had been completely disarmed, the Narrators were in control of the planet, and they were grateful to the Republic for its assistance. Once the fighting stopped, Republic forces pulled out of Gaftikar, leaving the planet to the Narrators, who presumably got equal rights and a say in government for their troubles. Shanio Mining likely got their cut as well. But while the battle was a complete success for the Republic, it instilled a considerable amount of doubt in the Commandos of Omega Squad, who were increasingly suspicious of the Republic's motives and wouldn't soon forget their encounter with Sull and the Covert-Ops troopers. They would eventually follow suit in deserting from the army. So that's our look at the Commando missions that took place during the battles of Mygeeto and Gaftikar. But what do you think? Are there other battles you'd like us to take a look at? What did you think of this one? Let us know all that and more in the comments section below. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.